All right, I decided to get to chapter 2, but it looks like I'm not going to have time to go further tonight, probably. But I did get the first scene with Udinus, or our boy Unidus, and Onrak, and they're looking and seeing Silchus there, and man, it just breaks my heart for not Andaris, but Animandarake. Uh, we have this extra, they talk about the Elaint blood in them and how it just kind of corrupts. It makes one just kind of look after themselves and betray one another, and that was a big part of what happened. And gives just kind of new perspective on some of the lore up to this point. Very cool though. And Rudalau is in danger, and Silchus is telling Udinus that maybe Silchus should take him to protect him, or what. But I'm not totally sure. But gotta get some stuff ready tonight. Might not have any more time tonight. All right, this is a couple days later, and it's about to, my NFL game's about to start, and I'm going kind of crazy waiting. I have a couple hours left, so I went and I read the next scene with Onrak looking at Udinus and Silchus. And I don't know what's out to get it. I don't know if this is like the there's a lot of noise in here. I don't know if that's the Kachin Chamal or whatever it'll end up being, but glad to be back. Really like this scene with Onrak, and he's getting closer to Udinus, and um, so much of this series is dealing with the aftermath of these big events that happen. Now we have Onrak dealing with Troll's death, who I love, but I love Onrak too, and Saren has his child, and Kalava's about to give birth, and it's just, I love these soft moments afterwards, but they're super sad as well. But I just love the way Steven Erickson conveys these moments. So, what the heck? What was that? With this Tanakalian and the who's the mortal? No, the Shield Anvil, kind of young and brash, I guess. And this Destrian just like melted in front of him. I love this Gray Swords ship, by the way. It is like the coolest thing. I wonder if there's artwork that people have done for that. Very, very cool. Very sort of confusing. This talk of betrayal. And now this person, you get kind of funky vibes with this new Shield Anvil who's going to do things differently than the ones that have come before him. So very cool. This Yedan Derrig, or however you pronounce his name, the guy from Reaper's Gale, who's like the half brother of Twilight or Jan Tovis. He's a jerk, right? Don't like him. That's my assessment. Right. These two, what are they called? Shake witches, the last two. I mean, it's a scene. There was a lot that they were saying. I don't like these two, but I mean, good thing there's other people to like in this series. So, but it's the kind of scene that it just kind of turns me off. But anyway, on to the next one. Onrak's the coolest. All the Talani masks are the coolest. I really liked that scene with Udinus and Onrak outside of this tent where Rudalal is talking with Silchus Ruin, and he's going to help him with his nature, and that's a big reason why I loved Reaper's Gale so much. And who better to do it would be Animander Rake, I guess, but hopefully Silchus will be like his brother in that regard. Because it sounded like they were awesome until that nature broke them apart. So hope for the best for this kid. I just want to mention in this scene here where it's back with this shield anvil and the mortal sword. Uh, when it was talking about Rudalal, it was making mention again, and it's had a few mentions of this of that epigraph from Tehol of what lies beneath the blanket, sort of thing, and it's making that sort of that was supposed to be kind of a joke, I guess, but not completely because it does still make mention of that with Rudalal, what lies beneath, and now with this mortal sword lady. We've had that a few times. We've had, um, even though with Onrak, even though he has this visage, what he looks like, he's much deeper beneath, and very cool, and also kind of lifts or kind of keeps going from the themes of Reaper's Gale, which I love so much, and has been a big part of this stuff over here in Lether. So very cool. I'm actually not done this scene though, but man, this guy lied about taking on the mortal uh, suffering of the Destriant who just like melted. So dang. Oh man, this parlay with the Volcando is pretty wild. Give me some Kellic over what they're drinking. Nasty. I guess it wasn't nasty stuff. They were just messing with their heads, but it sounds like they're going to tell the king that maybe these people should be allowed into the wasteland because they'll just get messed up anyway, and it'll just help clear things out for them. And if anyone gets kind of, if anyone comes crawling back, they can just capture them and turn them into slaves. So, wild, wild stuff. All right. Well, it sounds like one of the slaves, even though these slaves had their eardrums yanked or whatever you do with that, and aren't able to speak, but they have figured out maybe through lip reading or whatever what was said between these two, between this chancellor and I guess Chancellor Rava and this other guy, and it's going to let them know. It's probably going to get killed because of it. All right, I never really was a massive fan with the Sheik in these two witches and Twilight. I mean, she was kind of cool from Reaper's Gale, but it sounds like things are going to pick up a little bit, and she does mourn her brother here. I'm a little confused where this will go with them, but I'm hoping that the next chapter we're going to get back to Tehol and Bug and all that, because a lot of the stuff in this chapter wasn't too interesting, but that's fine. All right. I guess in the very last tiny little scene, we have Silchus and Rudalal, I think, leaving the refugium place, which I think is like the coolest. One of the coolest aspects of this series. I really like this place and this stuff around this kid. I still don't really know where this is going to go, and that's fine. If I had to rate the first part, the most interesting parts so far, I like. I don't know. It's still kind of interesting because we're back in Malazan, but it's just not grabbing my attention quite like the start of like any of these other books so far. But it is interesting. I'm glad that we get back to some of these people.